to the shit show.
Yay.
So yeah, no, we definitely had some issues with that one video where everything was just sped up.
The voices weren't syncing up for nothing, or like...
Oh yeah, it was definitely an old Japanese
old
dub
Japanese,
boom.
yeah.
And here we are today.
Hey. Oh my God, it's Godzilla!
Well, see, that's one of the best reasons to keep the microphone covering your mouth, so that even if the dub is off, you won't be able to see it.
Right, yeah.
Except that Tim's over here, and then the sound comes out 3 seconds later.
Hey, what are you doing? Hey.
Yeah, no, it was bad, and that's part of the technology part of being Gen X. Welcome to Three Old Guys Podcast. We just figured we'd fly right on in here with bashing ourselves for screwing up a video.
Yeah.
If you get the chance to watch it, go back and check it out. I screwed it up. Yeah. There's no nice way to put it.
All his fault. I had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, he shows up, sits there pretty in the chair, and then wanders the fuck away like, oh, okay, you do it now. I'm just a star. You be the producer.
The star's born.
As he tilts his back and the camera disappears because he's still whited out. I don't know if you're that bad, actually, at this point. You're kind of yellow, actually. You've got jaundice.
Uh-oh.
That's it. Put him down.
Please. Kill me. Kill me. Kill me.
So.
Put me out of your misery.
So, we were discussing what we were going to do for a topic, and one of the things that John keeps pointing out is he's constantly saying, nobody gives a fuck about you. You're gonna do what you're gonna do. They're gonna help or they're not gonna help. They're either gonna be family or they're not gonna be family, and even sometimes family doesn't give a fuck. We've all got other things we've got to do, and nobody has the time for your bullshit. My bullshit, his bullshit, Tim's bullshit, Tim's Beard's bullshit. We just don't have time for any of it.
He's only jealous because he can't grow an awesome beard like this.
Uh-oh, here we go.
No, this is it. This is maxed out. I have been growing the same beard for 3 years, and it has not gotten any fucking longer.
Mine has been...
That's 3 weeks,
36, I hear it.
So, yeah, that's kind of the running thing in this house, is that nobody gives a fuck. And it comes from, I guess, that generation that we grew up in. I mean, we all have different backgrounds. Tim had a parent that passed, and then his dad got remarried, but both parents were working. Mm-hmm. So you were kind of a latchkey kid in that aspect.
Right.
My parents were divorced. When I lived with my mom, she was working, so we were constantly left home. I mean, we got out of school, and my mom didn't get home until like 10 o'clock at night, so we had the whole day to basically be feral.
Right.
And that got us in a lot of trouble. And then when I moved in with my dad, he was already retired, but he didn't care, so I was still feral. I was allowed to run around and do whatever the hell I wanted. I mean, to a certain point, my dad, showed up for court.
When he had to.
Which is, that's effectively how it ended up, is as much as I would love to say I ran feral and did what I did and stayed out of trouble. No, the fuck I did. I got in a lot of trouble. Oddly enough, the one that got in the most trouble had the nuclear family. Because you had a dad that worked.
Yep.
And then your mom was at home.
Yep. And I was the one that got in trouble because I just could not deal with my mom. I still to this day I don't know what the hell went wrong, but and my mom's a firm believer of, you got yourself into it, you gotta get yourself out of it, kind of thing. And
well, and that's exactly the whole premise of a Gen X is figured out.
Yeah, you watch these videos. I watched like thousands of these videos of cop videos and shit, and you hear a lot of these good people, grown-ass men and women, screaming, call my mom, call my mom. What's your mom going to do for you, dude? You're going to jail, man. Don't call your
In
mom.
today's society, your mom's going to show up, cuss the cop out, and guess what? Mom's going to be in jail with
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, that.
She's
going
going
to
to become Karen, super Karen, and she's going to end up in jail with you.
Yeah, it didn't happen. that
It'll
way.
make the internet,
Oh, yeah.
but mom's still going to be sitting in a jail cell with you.
Yeah, no, that didn't happen with my family. They did not. No, you got yourself in it. You know, you got to deal with it.
Well, yeah, and that's kind of I watch these videos on TikTok all the time. Everybody's constantly going on about Gen X, and we grew up on garden hoses and had to get into the streetlight. And I'm starting to see some that resonate much more with me in the aspect, and I'm sure that you guys will agree, even, you know, with your nuclear family and your parents both working and my parents being split up. You got up on Saturday morning, you got a bowl of cereal, you sat down in front of the TV, you watched cartoons until you stopped watching cartoons. We all know, hey, John hates cartoons.
Yeah, that was definitely me, yeah.
And then your mom, at some point, came out and yelled at you, go outside and do something. And that was the last they saw of you for the rest of the fucking day.
Yep.
Until the lights came on. They
Yeah.
did not care.
No.
There was no way to contact you. There was no way to chase you down. And then when you got home, it's like, where the hell were you? I don't fucking know.
To be
I
fair,
was
life
all
was different
across
then.
town.
Well, but we lived in, right in the height of serial killers and child abductions.
And, you know,
And we were the ones out roaming the
hitchhiking.
streets.
People hitchhiking, getting kidnapped, and, you know.
Yeah, but you see, there wasn't as many people. You know, there wasn't as many agendas. There wasn't as many, you know, trends, I guess you could say, that were going around.
But that's just it. We were at, just as the serial killers and the child abductions and the kidnappings, just as those were starting to kick off and become a big nationwide problem, was when we were out running around doing stuff. And then after our generation is when everybody started like, oh, well, there's a lot of bad people in the world. Maybe we need to keep closer eye on these kids. So right during the height of it, it was when we were out there fucking around.
Yeah, exactly. You know, the
And-
minute the bug spray guy would come by, we'd go running through the cloud. We didn't know what the fuck that was. It was just fun.
Yeah, that explains a lot with you.
Giggity.
We had guys with cars that didn't run for shit that left clouds of smoke, but we didn't chase down the guy spraying bugs.
Bug mosquito guy, yeah.
Yeah, we didn't have that in Arizona. I mean, we had mosquitoes, but they weren't as bad because we didn't really have a lot of water.
The dry heat.
Dry heat, yeah.
And you know, there were some questions that I brought up that made more sense than the standard Gen X trope. Oh, well, we were feral and we were out doing this and nobody has any. Okay, well, all right, you've got that. At what age? At what age did you just turn into a feral child and you stopped seeing your parents? For me, 6 years old, I was riding a skateboard over to my cousin's house to go screw around in South Tucson. At 6 years old, my parents didn't know where the hell I was at that point.
Yeah, I say about like maybe anywhere from 8 to 10 is when I really got big because, you know, I got bike. I had friends come over with bikes. We'd take off on the bikes and nobody would see us.
Right, which brings up the phrase, your parents only raised you until about 7 or 8, and then your friends raised you after that.
Yeah.
Because that's where you were spending all your time.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know, what about you, John?
Well,
At what point did you become just absolutely feral and your parents
Well, the difference
maybe
between,
knew what you were doing?
between my kind of feral and your guys' kind of feral is that, you know, so you didn't come home all day until the lights came on. I'd be lucky if I came home that month because I would take off and I would be gone 3-4 weeks at a time. My mom would say, you know, be home by 4 o'clock and it'd be a Sunday, and I'm like, okay, but you didn't say what day. So I would be back 3 weeks later, you know, and I wasn't 6 years old. I was about 13 or 14 when I started, you know, just really taking off.
Now, John grew up in Southern California, so there was a lot more to do, and there was a little more freedom because there were beach parties and hangouts, and everybody was going back and forth from this to this to this. I didn't necessarily have that in Southern Arizona. Tim grew up in Michigan.
Yeah. We had block parties and, you know.
But no, I couldn't even imagine. I mean, I understand my parents would kick me out and be back in before the lights come on. Your parents are like, all right, we'll go off and do something. Be back before September.
Well, that's kind of what they figured, you know. But when it came to me, I was just unhinged, you know. I just when you guys got in trouble, I would imagine there's a little bit of, graffiti, maybe some, police might have been involved, bringing you home and shit. Yeah, I've gone through that too. But mine usually consists of, having a court case to go to, having to serve time, or being locked up and shit, and the amount of violence and stupid shit that I would get into, it's just, I can see where these kids nowadays just go unhinged, but it only lasted for so long before I realized, hey, this isn't the way.
Right. Well, and I'm not saying I didn't have plenty of court cases, and that's one of the reasons that I ended up living with my dad is my mom couldn't deal with me anymore, because she had to go to juvenile hall several times to retrieve me, and I can't even say that we kept it kind of narrowed down. Me and my cousin decided to go take a walk. We lived on the south side of Tucson. We took a walk to Marana.
What is now Marana?
Yeah, well, I mean it's all Tucson now, but.
Well, it was all Tucson back then. I mean, Marana's its own city now.
Maine, well, in the 80s, there was a big separation between Tucson and Marana. Now there's not. I mean, you can walk through neighborhoods the whole distance. Back in the day, you had to walk across 15 miles of desert.
Okay.
But he had a buddy that was in Marana, and we were going to go visit. And we thought it was a good idea. And like 3 days later, we were in Marana, and his buddy's mom calls, like, do you know these kids? You need to come get them.
Go pick them up before we turn them in.
So, I mean, there were several times we walked off and visited my grandmother in Keno. That was at least still in Tucson, but it was all the way on the other side of town.
Mm-hmm.
And, we could get back and nobody cared. Nobody seemed to be concerned about what you did through the day. They just assumed that you hung out in the neighborhood with the rest of the kids, and half of us weren't even in the same city.
See, part of that whole thing, nobody gives a fuck about you, is because that is the assumption you should take upon yourself when you're out in open water.
Well, yeah, nobody's going to get you out of trouble when it comes right down to it.
For you. Even if your parents, as much as they may love you, and they probably would come and get you, you have to assume that nobody's going to give a fuck about you, and you've got to figure out a way to get out of it yourself.
Well, like you constantly told me about running around and driving all over the backwoods of Michigan. And
backwoods of Michigan. Just
if you blew a tire or had a problem with your car, I'm sure you could,
I'd call my dad and he would be there.
Find a friend and your dad, and you call your dad.
If a friend, because usually I'm hanging out with my friends and there's something going on, we're taking care of it ourselves.
But we're talking pre-cell phones, pagers, email, and so even if you blew a tire out on a back road,
I'd have to walk to the nearest house.
Yeah, you're talking 10, maybe 10, 15 miles to get to somebody
Yeah, because me and my friends used to take off on our bikes, and I lived in a small township of Carlton next to Saginaw. Mm-hmm. A lot of my friends lived in Saginaw, so when we took off on our bikes, it was like, 6-10 miles to get to their houses, Right. I had girlfriends every summer, 1 year, I would go to her house like every day during the summer. And I got
but we know what you did. But that's just it, is in that aspect of nobody gives a fuck, nobody's going to be there. Even in today's society, you have the ability to call your parents right now, but it might be 20, 30 minutes before they show. You still have to deal with yourself during that period of time. You have to get yourself out of that imminent danger, even if you've got friends. I've had some really good friends, and I've had some flakes for friends.
Oh, yeah. You find out real quick, especially when you guys are in trouble.
Oh, yeah,
Who's going to get who out of trouble? Who's going to help? Who's going to pull you out?
I've had those friends that call me up at like 3 o'clock in the morning and say, dude, I need to get home. And I'm like, all right, I'm on my way.
You're right.
He's had to do that.
I've had to do that a couple times. I mean,
and I was always there for him, so I'm like, yeah.
I grew up part of the time in Tucson and part of the time in San Manuel, Arizona. And there have been times that I would just be out fucking around in the desert and come across another friend that was stuck in the desert. And they were trying to figure out how they were going to get to some place to call somebody to come get them out. I just happened to be by, so I helped them out. But
you realize you take 3 steps that way, you're in Tucson. This is the desert, this is Tucson.
That's the thing, too. A lot of people don't realize that in Arizona, man, when you get stuck out in the fucking desert, it can be brutal. That'd be the fucking heat. I mean, unless you know anything about the desert or been involved with the situation. it can take a toll on you.
Yeah, I mean, even at night, it can do you damage.
Yeah.
I would love to not have this story to be able to tell, but I remember going out with a buddy of mine to the desert, and we just got lit. We got bombed. And I got in my truck, and I drove home. And then I remembered that he went with me. We were 25 miles out. Well, by then, I'm at home. I'm asleep in bed. I didn't remember until the following morning. He shows up. His jeans are tore up. His shirt's tore up. He got attacked by a pack of fucking coyotes
Oh, God.
walking back.
That'll do it.
And I just felt like a total ass for leaving him. But I was, I was lit. I didn't know any better. And that's kind of where it's at. I mean, I apologized to him a bunch, and I ended up making it up to him because he was, he's probably my best friend at the time. But I still felt like an ass for leaving him there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I always tried to remember who I took with me after that. If we're going out someplace. All right,
Bring him back.
so Jimmy went with me and Sean went with me. And where the fuck is Sean?
Mikey.
That happened quite a bit with Mikey.
Oh, yeah.
Mikey would just kind of...
Remember we went out with Mike and Jerry and...
Oh, yeah, no, Jerry would bomb out and disappear randomly, too.
Oh, God, the one time we went to the show club and he started hitting on all the girls and gave the numbers out, and then we got back to him and his girlfriend, and she called him up while his girlfriend was right there. Oh, God.
Hey, that was a bad... Why would you give out your home phone number? We had cell phones at the time, too.
Yeah.
We were already in the cell phone era at that point. And oddly enough, it was kind of expected on Friday when you took your guys for a safety meeting. Everybody met at the boat. Anybody that doesn't understand the boat, it's Raiders Reef. It's a strip club in Tucson. All of the construction guys would get together on Friday and have a big safety meeting at the strip club, which always turned into just making the girls rich.
Yeah, all your paycheck went to.
Actually, no, it wasn't the boat when we went there. It was the one off of 22nd.
Yeah, we
Swan.
went to the other one.
Yeah, the other one. I forget the name.
TD's?
No, it was the one right there at 22nd and Craycroft.
22nd Craycroft. Oh.
No,
Yeah.
22nd and
Yeah.
Swan.
No, that's Craycroft.
No, it was Craycroft. Yeah.
Next to the Little Caesars.
Yeah, shit, I can't remember it, but yeah, I know what you're talking. It's been a couple of bars.
Curves.
since then.
No, it wasn't Curves. Curves was
There's something else, but yeah,
But yeah, we were there and we had a meeting and
yeah, but give out your cell phone number.
Yeah, Jerry
and if
decided to
you're
get
gonna try and
bombed.
keep it, I was single, so I didn't have to stress it. But if you're gonna give out your cell phone number or if you're gonna give out your number to a girl at a strip club, give her your cell phone number. Don't give her your house phone.
yeah.
hey, you know what? Alcohol and thinking don't go together.
No.
Thinking and Jerry didn't go together.
Oh yeah, definitely not. Yeah, he got in a fight with the yeah.
He's the one that got me pulled over because he was sitting in the back of the truck and he opened up a case of nails and was throwing them out at traffic while we're going down the road.
Yep.
And a cop pulls up behind him and goes, he's throwing about a half box of nails out at the people on the street. I'm like, you motherfucker. Just what's wrong with you?
I don't know.
You're
I had
not
a,
riding with me no more.
Yeah, I had a one of my first guitar player when I first started getting into bands and stuff. He went out with his girlfriend one night, and she was quite messy. She would basically beat the snot out of him. She used to be a Marine apparently.
So she had anger issues.
She had anger issues.
Because when you said messy, that's not where my mind went first.
No.
Messy.
She was an ex-Marine, and
Messy with skills.
we would go out and he'd behave himself because she would beat the fuck out of him. One night their shower didn't work, so he was washing his hair in a sink, and she came up and she found out we were going to go out and go to karaoke, and she started grabbing a hold of him, smacking him in the head with the fucking sink. Bang, 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 bang. And I'm like, what the fuck? Dude, you gotta get rid of her. He's like, oh no. All
See,
right,
this
fine.
is an entirely different story because I had a friend of mine named Paul who dated a girl who was messy in a different way.
Yeah.
But he didn't date because he was married.
Okay.
Oh god, yeah.
And he dated a girl that was a stripper, took her home, married. Everything was in the dark. His wife had blackout curtains, the whole mess. He did whatever he was going to do. He comes back to work. I'm like, where the fuck were you? And he's like, well, you know that girl I was seeing? The one that's going to get you killed? Yeah, I remember her. Yeah, well, I had a good time. Okay, well, fine, great one. And sure, as soon as, because I gave him a ride to work and I gave him a ride home as soon as we got home, because his wife got home an hour before we did.
Mm-hmm.
She met him at the car and was just wailing on it because she came into the
And the thunder
bedroom.
rolls.
She came home and wondered what the smell was, opened up the curtains and pulled back the covers, and there's the mess.
Oh God.
It was still on the bed.
Oh.
Oh yeah, no, instant divorce.
Yeah, I would think
Oh yeah.
so.
There.
So when you said messy, that's not where my mind went.
Oh jeez, clean up your mind. Then. No, the thing is that he was, like I said, when I first moved to Tucson, met him at karaoke. He's the dude. I'm a guitar player. Okay, he had a girlfriend who was deaf. We ended up going to karaoke one night. We both met Shadow. You know who Shadow is. And I had to go home.
I apologize. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, actually not, because I got my son. So
You got a son out of it,
Yeah,
but you
I
got
got
a
it.
shadow out of it
Yeah, I
too.
know. I didn't like that. Well, the thing is that I went home. He took her home, and then he had his girlfriend there, but his girlfriend was deaf, so she never heard a damn thing. I'm like, oh my God.
You know, I just realized we are like not even talking about the subject we were supposed to be talking about.
No, we're supposed to be talking about,
Nobody gives a fuck.
nobody
about
gives
it.
a fuck, and we wandered way off
We
topic.
went into war stories and shit.
Yeah.
Like, wait a minute.
That's kind of what we do. We
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, that's true. But
Why? Because we don't give a fuck. That's why.
But to stay on topic, what about you, Tim? What point in your life, like what Mike was saying, when did you realize that nobody was coming to save you? When did you realize that, hey, I'm fucking by myself? You ever been in a situation, can you narrow one down? If you want to do war stories, I mean, tell me
Yeah.
about a situation that you were by yourself and had no help.
Let me think of. I don't ever think I was.
No, because you went from family to having friends, and most
Yeah.
of us, if you called me, I was going to show up.
Right.
Or
I know,
Keith
yeah,
was going to
because
show up.
I
or-
always surrounded myself with decent friends.
he had good friends.
I had
Okay,
good
well,
friends,
that
all
is-
from
that's-
Michigan.
Lucky, actually.
Yeah,
'cause
I
you-
was
is-
very lucky.
yeah.
This is what happens when you make better choices.
That is true. That is
The only
true.
person I could call that would show up is him. He could call half a dozen people.
Yeah, I wasn't
Yeah.
in that same boat. Most of my friends would leave me high and
Yeah,
dry.
like
So, I
yeah,
learned pretty
now.
quick.
Now a lot of my friends who I used to hang out with back in Michigan, we're not talking anymore. We basically say hi from time to time or happy birthday.
That
But
kind of faded. The
It's kind of
relationship.
you know how you say
Yeah, you grow apart.
Yeah,
right,
grow apart.
I got you.
The only person that there's only a couple people. There's my friend Steve Vega, who I talk to a lot. He sends me messages, and then my best friend, my sister Rachel. You've
Right.
met Rachel.
Yeah, she's been here.
Yeah.
Well, it's not here. She's been to the house that we had in Clarksville.
Yeah. She's a good people.
And I think part of that is it stems from the getting hurt wasn't an emergency aspect of it, because we all talk about, we got hurt and we just walked it off.
Mm-hmm.
There's an underlying reason behind that a lot of people don't talk about. We grew up in mentholatum and mercurochrome, that era. You got hurt, your parents broke out that red bottle, and I would rather die. So most of us, if we got hurt, we just didn't tell them to begin with, because that shit hurt worse than whatever injury. I got a cut on my leg, and then my mom puts the stuff on there, and I swear to God, my leg is on fire.
Yep. Oh, one time with happened to be with family, I was having issues taking a crap with my grandma. My grandma happened to be there. I love my grandma Esther.
This took a turn.
Yeah. Well, anyways, he ended up.
Well, that's just for the shits, isn't it?
Exactly. It was bad. Trust me. Yeah. She wanted to try to help me because I was plugged up. Well, you know the the nose cleaners.
I was plugged up.
Yeah.
She's gonna pump people up air, apparently.
Stick her finger up.
She used the nose cleaner for babies. And,
Oh, right.
She got warm water. Oh, good God.
Please tell me you weren't over 4.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just
I was
remember that.
15. What the fuck?
No.
Okay.
Not that old. No.
I
I had to be like
kid.
somewhere around 5 or 6 or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
A little more reasonable.
that's
One of
pushing.
my longest memory. One of my oldest memories.
Yeah, that would be traumatic. I would
Very
have
traumatic.
held on
She
to
had
that
to
one.
shove that whole thing up there because was very thin.
Oh yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
Okay, so she got the thing.
She
in your
tried to
ass.
help me out, and
But did it work?
yeah, I think it did. I'm still here, so.
Oi.
The conversation took a left turn. You
Sorry,
asked
guys.
these fucking
Yeah,
questions.
Yeah, you do.
Oh shit! That's definitely nobody's coming to save you except for your grandma.
Well, apparently Grandma did.
Yeah, apparently was right there with them.
Yeah, I didn't need that kind of help though.
Yeah, you won't be asking her again.
No.
Now, this is a good question for Tim because I it doesn't really work for me. I can only think of 2 instances where the question, because I've got some of these questions sitting here so that I can try to stay somewhere in the same sphere of on topic.
Okay.
And okay, so another thing that people don't talk about on these TikTok videos or these shorts or whatever different group that you're going through, where you're watching these Gen X videos, is what happened when your parents wanted to find you, when they actually needed you.
My dad had a CJ7 Jeep with an Ooga horn.
Ooga horn?
Ooga!
my.
Oh yeah, straight up Polish bullshit right there.
Yeah.
Oh.
Then my dad wanted me, and I was in the neighborhood. He would lit that thing up, and I'd be like, "Oh, I gotta go, guys." That was
Yeah.
before.
I mean-
that was before pagers.
I was thinking more, which friends did your dad automatically know who to call, and that's where Tim's going to be.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Me and my circle, certain circle of friends, we would be anywhere. There was only like definitely
that's-
4 people.
That's probably why my dad went the way that, because like I said, he only ever had to chase me down twice, found me both times. He knew which friend to drive over to. He didn't call him. He would just drive straight the fuck over. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Go home. It's midnight. I didn't know that. I don't have a watch. You didn't buy me one.
Yeah, but that's the thing. There's 4 of us, and we would go hang out at any 4 of our houses, or we go out and cause trouble in the because there was a set of hills to the west, and they had paths and stuff. We run through the paths and make hills and make forts and stuff. And
What kind of trouble are we talking about here? Throwing rocks at cars or setting shit on fire?
setting shit on fire, basically. Go to if someone's house was. If there was nobody at that house, we would go into that house.
He's from the area where they would still, you do the poop in the bag and then set it on fire and
Okay.
then ring the doorbell.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, he's
we're-
talking about setting someone's house on fire. So that's,
No, not someone's house.
You set a bag
Oh.
of shit on fire, you might burn the house down.
Yeah, but he's talking about an empty house. And that's
Well, if
what I'm
someone's house
saying.
is empty, we go check it out, and there's houses that had
Oh, I thought you were
construction
talking about
around it. We
burning
run
it.
jump across.
Oh yeah, no, I
No,
think
we wouldn't burn houses. No.
I think all of us as Gen X kids, every Gen X kid that I can think of, if it was an abandoned house, an empty house, a house that wasn't for rent, it was just empty or new construction. How did that turn into a playground?
Yeah, that was definitely a
windows
playground.
and cabinets and shit to tear
Yeah.
apart.
We
We'd go in there to destroy it.
And it seems to be
we wouldn't destroy. We just go check it out, and then we go run around and just. Like I said, you guys were the ones who constantly get in trouble. You guys, not me. I was the one. I slightly got into trouble, but I was in such a small town. We knew everybody.
Yeah, that doesn't help.
Basically, what they would do, they'd tell my parents. My parents would get my dad.
Yeah, see, I didn't
smacked
have that issue. The only kid
grounded
that I
or-
ever knew that set somebody's house on, and it was an abandoned house. It was the guy had passed away. His family had come in and cleaned out part of the stuff. They left the house up for probate. It was going to be taken by the state of Arizona, and being the kids, the whole neighborhood kids, all of us in the group. My cousin talked us into going into this house, and we all kind of wandered around and checked things out. He set that house on fire.
Oh,
And it wasn't even one of his friends. My cousin Eddie set that house on fire.
Yeah.
And it was
good
like,
thing
really?
nobody was in it.
Well, he was screwing around with some lighters and ended up dropping something that he'd lit, and it's caught a bunch of papers. And I mean, the house was going to be demolished anyway, so it
Right.
wasn't a big deal. But it was close enough to other houses. It's like, what are we? And of course, we scattered like cockroaches
Oh,
immediately.
yeah.
Luckily, one of the neighbors called, and the house was put out before it got outside the house. But that's the only time I can think of anybody actually setting a house on fire.
We were playing with fire. We ended up doing the whole lighter with the lighter fluid. Set
Yeah,
on
see,
fire
we-
and make line. We made violence, and that thing got kind of racy because it started getting the fire got. The fire kind of got out of hand. We had to take it out real quick.
Yeah, the only time we did anything like that was bonfires. Those were done on purpose. We'd, half a dozen of us would go out and find lumber, and we'd make a big pile. Somebody would pour a half can of gas on it, and then you'd sit there with the book of matches and flick matches into it to see who could get it to strike.
My pyro story is when I ran away from home. I was in Oklahoma City, and just for shits and giggles, man, I was about 1 o'clock in the morning. I set a dumpster on fire.
Oh, dumpster fire.
And then I waited like a block or two away, and I watched the fire department show up, and then I set another one on fire. I did this like 4 or 5 times, 4 or 5 different little fires in a dumpster. That was one time, and then the other time I got busted for, I set a bale of fucking cardboard on fire behind a Walgreens or something.
Oh, geez, yeah.
Yeah, I got nailed for that by my friend who fucking ratted me out.
Oh, jeez.
And I served like a year and a half for that. But when I got out, I stole his entire cassette collection. He had a whole fucking big-ass collection of, I think it was King Diamond or some shit, and some other groups. I said, hey, let me check that out. Fucking drove off in my car with it. Fuck you.
Kind of reminds me of, what's his name?
Well, you should have taken all of them and disappeared for a couple of weeks and then recorded over the, the old date. Put the tape over the edge.
Yeah.
Record Milli Vanilli over all of them, and then give them back.
I just sold them. I wasn't into King Diamond.
Yeah. If that was me, I would have actually taken it. I would have recorded it. I would have recorded me and my old lady banging the hell out of each other and just record the whole thing. Have them turn that on a stereo. Oh, what the fuck is this shit?
All right, trying to get back on topic of the nonsense that we put up with and nobody was going to see. So, I know I have a story. I'm sure you have one. The question is whether or not Tim has one.
Okay, what is?
Ditching school when you were younger.
Whoa. Well, not until I was in.
Remember, your dad watches this show.
Not until I was a senior.
Of course, you're 50 now, so I'm not sure that
Yeah,
you're
I don't think that rule applies
I'm
anymore.
55. Fuck you. You can't. Or is it the legal terms of?
It's not. Yeah, statute of limitations.
Yeah.
It's not a matter of ditching because all kids have ditched at some point in life. But again, we're going to go back to the Gen X part of this. We were still in the era that your teacher might show up at your house at lunchtime when all the rest of the kids are going to lunch and you're not in school. If you're hanging out at your house, but it's in school, your teacher might fucking show up.
I've never heard of this. Huh.
You never had a teacher show up at your house?
Or the truant
no, I
officer.
don't do that around my part.
Oh, Miss Cowan, my 4th grade teacher, she showed up at my house at lunchtime and drugged my ass back to school. She literally, she knocked on the door. I opened it up. There's my teacher. I thought you were sick.
No.
Well, I guess I'm getting dressed now.
Bueller.
I am sick.
Yeah, but that's the thing is I don't. Obviously, you didn't have it happen. But again, Southern California probably a little too populous.
Many kids.
Yeah, it's too much.
Too many neighborhoods.
Did you ever have one of those times when you were sitting at home and then your teacher, you're like, oh well, I'm not going to school today. My dad's at work. He doesn't know.
No, I didn't have one of those. Well, the only time I did skip, it was a senior skip day.
Oh, that
That's
pre-planned
lame.
thing?
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
senior skip
That's
day.
not ditching.
Yeah,
That's pre-planned.
no.
That's sanctioned.
Senior skip day. That was it.
It's
Like I said, I
expected.
was a good kid. I never got in trouble until a couple years ago.
Well, that's
Remember
not
the
a
day
bad
a couple
thing.
years ago?
Well, yeah, you actually got yourself a record now.
Yeah. So
Yeah, Tim turned into a jailbird a couple years ago.
yeah, it took 50 some years.
He only waited until the rest of us were already, back to being functioning members of society. He goes and gets himself arrested.
And then what did I do? I called him, and he shows right up.
There-
But
yeah.
you know what?
And it scared the shit out of them. Damn cops. That's for damn sure.
As funny as it sounds, that is a flex. That is a very good flex.
He's just a late bloomer.
You know, like,
I know, right?
oh yeah. Oh come on! Everybody else got Metallica or Metallica during Master of Puppets and all that. I got into them at Justice. People got into Iron Maiden during the first album. I got into them at Somewhere in Time. So I'm a
Oh
late
yeah, I
bloomer.
had Master of Puppets when it first came out, so I guess I would have been. I was ahead of you in that curve.
Yeah, my first album was the Justice for All, and then I went.
Well, you had to at that point. You were
Yeah.
kind of in the middle of the playlist
Yeah,
of that
exactly.
particular era.
And it hasn't gotten better lately. So. But
Yeah,
it's-
no,
I never really got into much trouble.
Yeah,
Because besides, it was Michigan too. During the wintertime, how many times do you think I went? And, snow came up. there's no school in Carlson Elementary or Carlson Middle.
Yeah, we didn't have
I was
that.
like,
Yeah,
oh,
you're lucky
fuck
to have
yeah.
civilization, when the snow comes.
And then we
so-
ran out. We tried to find everybody, like find people's cars.
underneath the snow.
7 years of school in San Manuel, it snowed out one day.
Oh, really? Jesus.
One day. That's it. And it was
Not
only
where I
because
came from.
the teachers couldn't make it through Oracle to get to San Manuel to teach. All of us still showed up, and then the principal, who happened to live in town, was like, "No, we're not doing school because none of the teachers showed up."
The worst we've ever had is fog. You might make it to school in the morning,
Yeah.
but it would clear up by.
Well, shit,
10
we've seen some pretty bad fog on the road.
Oh no, we all more than took advantage of a snow day when it snowed.
That was great because by the time I got to Tucson, I was already out of high school,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden, oh yeah, we're having a school day. Close half the day. The fuck? you
Well,
think-
see, that's just it. My sisters were pissed because we got a snow day in San Manuel. When I moved in with my dad, my sisters didn't. Both my sisters still live with my mom. So I got a snow day. They still had to go to school.
Yeah, we when we had snow days, we were gone. I was like I said, I was basically the young kid from Ralphie's younger brother
Oh, yeah.
with the
Yeah.
snowmobile suit. I didn't have the full kerchief, scarf and all that, but I had the snowsuit with the moon boots, and we took off. We ran off and went looking for the highest hill that we could play King of the Mountain on, which I was usually the one getting thrown off.
And you were usually the bobsled too, because you were covered in everything. Now, I was gonna say this before we moved on too far. Yes, I got a snow day. No, my sisters didn't. What's the likelihood, knowing Chris and Shell, that either of them went to school anyway?
Oh, that shit.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it mattered. Like it mattered. I mean, yeah, they're just as bad as you guys were. They're just as bad as everybody else.
Yeah, we really were. I mean,
You see, that's why I say, when nobody gives a fuck about you. Like when kids ask me, I encourage them to go out and go into the world, and I mean, those
well,
in the
experience
United
at
States.
least.
Yeah, go ahead, cross the state line with no family, no money, nothing. Go do it, and bring yourself home. It'll humble you real quick that nobody gives a fuck about you.
Yeah, you
That
remember?
nobody's gonna save you.
You remember the night that Justin called for gas money because he drove to Virginia to go pick up his best friend,
And he got fucking lucky. His best friend, what the fuck was his name?
Kroger.
Kroger. Yeah,
Yeah, Kroger,
he got
yeah.
lucky. His best friend fucking came and bailed him out. I mean, he really is.
No,
Yeah.
Eric. His real name is Eric, but we all called him Chad Kroger.
Yeah.
He was really lucky that Justin came and got him.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
But Justin, my son, in his infinite brilliance, decided to go 104 across the state of Virginia and got himself nailed.
But
Ran
at
out of
least he went
gas.
out and did it though.
He did.
He wasn't scared.
Yeah,
he
and,
went out into open waters and fucking retrieved a man down and brought him home.
that's why that truck is now sitting in my backyard. He's not allowed to drive it anymore.
Oh yeah. Speaking of which, ran into that tax driver that was interested in it. But anyway, that's a different subject. He went out into open waters and brought him fucking back, man. Because that's why I told all your kids, go out there, see what it's like.
We were
Even
close
if you do
enough.
save some money and go out there. Wait till it runs out. Try to get back home. What are you gonna do?
I love the fact that we
Yeah.
moved to Tennessee, and we were close enough to the border. You drive like 5 miles that way. You're in Kentucky. You're like, how the fuck did we get here?
It wasn't even 5 miles.
It wasn't. No, it
Yeah,
wasn't.
no,
It was.
It was under a mile.
Yeah,
Because we lived in the neighborhood on the fucking border.
yeah. Just
Yeah, you could walk there.
And it took my oldest son all of 2 years to figure out how to wreck his car in another state.
Well, God is with him because I tell you what, he flipped his truck and didn't break a single windshield.
That was Justin.
Yeah.
Drake's the one that ran his car into a tree.
Oh yeah, he drank. Yeah, the tree.
Yeah, he did.
That's
huh?
right. Yeah.
Was that fucking Dodge Dart?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was a nice car. That was a little sporty motherfucker.
That was.
too.
He was coming back from a friend's house and slid out on one of the roads in Kentucky trying to take the backwoods to get
Yeah,
back
I
home
remember that.
Yep.
and lost it on. I mean, it wasn't his fault, and he was able to get insurance to cover it. But
That
yeah,
little thing was fast too, man.
Yeah.
Shit. It was a nice
He used to
little
go.
car.
He used to drive me to Electrolux,
Mm-hmm.
and then on the way back, because he didn't have a lot of sleep, I had to drive back. So that damn thing was.
oh,
Yeah,
it
it
was
was nice.
it was a zippy little
Yeah,
car.
it was.
Yeah, it was a real
Yeah,
nice little
well,
car, but
I had to watch my
unfortunately-
ass because I'm like I had to pass people because everybody's taking off.
Yeah.
Go to pass one, and the next thing you know, you're looking down. Oh, hey, look, it's like 80, 90. Oh shit! Slow
He was going that
down.
fast down Tiny Town when he first gave me a ride. We was doing like 60 or 70. I'm like, dude.
It's 45 here.
Yeah. I'm like,
Oops.
now you're acting like an asshole.
Yeah.
Slow the fuck down.
That's
dude.
one thing I remember when I first got my license. I would be driving, not paying attention, just kind of like beep bopping along. I look down, it's like 55 miles an hour and a 35, and all of a sudden he woo shit.
Yeah.
And the topic has been left again.
It has. It really has. But that's okay.
That's all right. I got another question to try and bring us back. So, now, how many of you've obviously watched the Gen X videos. You see
Yeah.
them on TikTok.
Oh,
And
yeah.
you've seen the Gen X videos.
Mm-hmm.
And another one of the topics that they bring up. Now, this seems to be almost like I'm debunking some of these Gen X stories. Because one of the things that everybody, well, my mom would make one meal and that we ate it or we didn't eat.
I would say, yeah.
Now, I'm not going to debunk it in the aspect of, yes, my mom made one meal and we ate it or we didn't eat simply because, let's be honest, most of the time our parents weren't home. So the day that your mom was actually home to cook something, you were going to eat it just because, hey, you got to spend time with your parents for a change.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, see, I can't be on that boat because my mom was always home. She was a stay-at-home mom, so whatever she made, because she didn't want to make anything else.
Right.
It's like, you're going to eat
And-
this, and that's just going to be it.
Right. Both of my parents were working. So
Yeah,
when
your
they came
parents
home,
your
right.
parents worked all the time, so
Yeah.
when you got the opportunity that your parents would actually be home to make a meal, you wanted to sit and eat with them.
Yeah.
And it was kind of the same thing. My parents were divorced, and when I spent time with my mom, she was still worked until 10 o'clock at night.
Mm-hmm.
So on the occasional weekends when I'd go down and hang out with my mom and my sisters that she cooked, of course we ate. It was the only time she did that.
Right. So it's not necessarily eating out of what because you like it. It's to spend time. And,
Well, I mean, there's two different ways to look at it. Yes, that we weren't given other options. My mom was fucking exhausted, and anybody else's parents, they were tired. They weren't going to make something else. They weren't going to take the time to do 3 or 4 meals. And of course, McDonald's was a luxury.
oh, definitely. That was,
McDonald's. Yeah.
you'd be lucky.
Oh, Little Caesars with the twofer, the big
But-
twofer thing. Yeah.
But those were mom's too tired to make something. Maybe you'll go out and get it. Wasn't just, oh, well, you don't want to eat this. Let's order something off of DoorDash. That
No.
wasn't going to happen.
No.
Yeah, never was. Never
She
even
ended
heard
up
of
making
that.
her meatloaf. She ended up, making.
And a
pork
lot of
chops.
those places, when we didn't even have delivery, Domino's didn't start doing delivery until I was like 15.
Yeah,
It used to be that if you wanted fast
wasn't
food,
it
and
pick up only.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't. Little Caesars didn't even have that. You had to go in there, and like I
Yeah,
said, they
giant
had the
pick
both
up.
pizzas on one thing. You had to put it either on your dash or in the back seat
Yeah.
in order to take it home.
and that's the other, another aspect of that is, okay, well, mom made dinner or dad made dinner. One of your parents could cook. Now, my dad could cook 3 things: cake, steak, and eggs. He knew nothing else.
Wow.
So everything else in the house that we had for dinner, I had to learn to cook by the time I was 11.
Good thing we have instructions on the box, because that's how I learned until my mom fucking said, "Oh, you're fucking that up." But yeah, I mean, I can imagine you guys. Well, maybe not so much you.
I was.
But you,
we had the
because
microwave.
You didn't have anybody there. To,
And see, we were broke. I didn't have a microwave until I was like 16.
Yeah, we ended up having the microwave. And that's how we learned. I remember we got the first microwave. Like, okay, we can boil water. Let's boil water. The whole.
Yeah, see, we weren't.
Let's check it out type thing. It was like, yeah, that's what we did.
We weren't.
Nah,
Broke, we weren't rich, but we weren't broke. But
Yeah, we were. Well, both my
I-
parents were working.
We
so
did a lot of
yeah.
sandwiches and stuff like that, but that was a matter of, you were so tired of your own cooking that when one of your other
that is a true statement. That is, I've been there are times when I make shit and I like it because it's my favorite food. I'm like, damn, I'm the one that made it. It just it's
it
not
doesn't
the
taste
same.
as good.
But somebody else makes it and be like, oh, this is so authentic. You know what I mean? And it's like, no, dude.
No, it's the same can of fucking beans that you used.
Yep.
But yeah, no, and that's kind of where it's at. Is even when I was younger and we would go shopping and we would get stuff. A lot of times I was out screwing around with my friends and wasn't coming in until late. And my dad wasn't big on cooking because it just wasn't something he was ever interested in learning. So it was usually something simple. Baked potatoes with maybe some bacon bits on top for protein, or we did sandwiches, or I made a cheap spaghetti, or we had mac and cheese or whatever. On those nights when we would actually get together, my dad's like, hey, I'm going to barbecue. We're going to do some steaks. And, we picked up some potato salad, and it was an actual meal. Yeah, we sat down because I was tired of the shit that I was cooking.
Oh yeah.
You know, microwaved hot dogs or just because I didn't have I didn't have the microwave until I was older. A pack of hot dogs and a boiling water with some mayonnaise on some
That can get old quick.
bread, and you're having hot dogs for dinner for 3 nights a
I
week.
got a welfare burger.
Yeah, that can get old pretty quick. Did your mom or dad ever like? Because my mom would go like on the weekend. She would cook a big meal, whether it be chili or enchiladas or burritos or whatever the fuck she makes, and make like a fuck ton of it, and then freeze it so that during the week she could just pull it out.
See, my Aunt Jean would do that.
That's a good idea to do.
And that was one of those things that, again, for me, because my mom wasn't big on cooking, my dad wasn't big on, but my aunt loved to cook. So when we went down to Tucson and visited family, those were kind of generally the nights that we would all get together, and we would go to my Aunt Jean's house, and she usually put on a big family gather. So it was my cousin Mike and my Uncle Sean and my Aunt Jean and then my sisters and my mom, and we would all just hang out at my Aunt Jean's house and watch TV, and everybody would shoot the shit, and my aunt would make up this big elaborate meal. So of course we ate it because that was the big get together, and we were tired of dealing with our. I mean, even Chris and Shell. Chris unfortunately had the downside of, sorry about this, Shell. Chris had to eat Shell's cooking because Shell cooked. Not everything that Shell cooked was good.
No, but when she did get it on the spot, she got it on the spot.
I'm not saying I'm not saying she tore it up all the time,
Right,
but
right.
she went through this phase where she did egg rolls. You could have run a car off the grease coming out those things.
Doing the whole Asian thing, yeah.
I mean, there are certain levels. It's so, again, you ate what was given to you sometimes because there wasn't another option. Your parents weren't going to go and get you fast food.
Yeah.
And there was also the whole getting a chance to sit down with your parents and actually eat something.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I'm not saying everybody had that, but even the families that had a stay-at-home mom, you were out running around with your friends. So you might be picking up gas station hot dogs or eating bags of chips throughout the week, and then your actual beneficial meal might be what you're eating for lunch at school.
Yeah.
But otherwise, you're skipping dinners at home, and then once a week or once every 2 weeks, whatever, you would come and sit down and have an actual meal with your parents. And it became important to sit down and eat just to get away from the crap that we were eating.
Well, there were times that, have money and parents give me money, or I'd have money somehow and run down to 7-Eleven and go pick up a big bite,
All right, so
big gulp.
I got a couple more questions to go. Now, this question, this ought to be an interesting topic. Boredom was actually good for us.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because when we were bored is when we came up with the most innovative ways of doing shit.
It's what triggers the mind to work, yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this not too long ago. I'd gone over to a buddy of mine's house because I was bored. And another buddy had brought over his dad's 500cc dirt bike. And he was proud of it. He was showing off his dad's bike. And I was a heathen and just a total shit. I ended up borrowing this kid's bike and tried to jump the entry to the American Legion across the street. It was a good 18-foot jump.
Yeah.
That I did not succeed. And I was thinking about it. I'm like, oh, wow, I really owe him an apology because that was a brand new motorcycle and I wrecked it. Slammed it front tire first right into the ground. I don't think there was a whole lot of damage, but I remember he got in trouble for it.
Oh, yeah.
Because, again, it was brand new. That was the kind of boredom that caused you. That's where we built ramps, and we figured out how to beat video games, and we figured out how to get from one kid's house to another kid's house to figure out which kids were, which were the other bored kids that were willing to go out and do stupid shit.
You tend to sort of gravitate towards them.
Yeah.
You find out, hey, we know this kid, just like me, we don't really have a lot of money, so we need to go out and improvise, and
Did
Go
you-
walk around.
figure shit
Go
out.
walk around the city or the town and find what we can do.
yeah.
Here's one that passed around. Did either of you? My mouth quit working. Did either of you build pop tab guns?
Did not build guns, built forts and tree houses and shit.
Forts, tree houses. Me and my cousin got bored one time at his house, and we ended up building guitars and swords out of like random boards of wood and shit.
Yeah, I did make a
See-
sword or two, but
Yeah, forts.
not a gun.
One of
We
our
made swords.
one of our friends figured out you could take an old busted broom handle of about 1.5 feet, 2 foot, and if you put a nail in the end of it and made a hook, and you could take a rubber band, hang it over the end of the broom handle, and then you drilled a clothespin to the other end, and then you could take the top pop tab off of a soda can, hold it in the rubber band on the paper clip, and then you could run up and zap. You'd push the button on the clothespin, and that pop tab would zip off.
Oh, that would have been cool.
Yeah.
You were
No,
going
it
around
wasn't-
popping each other.
Yeah,
We had full-on wars because everybody in the neighborhood was building those things for a while, and like slam books.
We had rock wars.
Now, I don't know if that was much outside of Tucson, Arizona, but we had a period of time when we had
Wait,
this
slam
thing.
book, you said?
Slam books.
Isn't that like where people sign it and you write shit in it or something? Or
Basically, somebody would take a bunch of pages, staple them together, and call it a slam book. And that thing got passed around more than a hot note in school.
Uh-huh.
And you could write anything in it.
Yeah, something like that. I've heard of it,
Oh,
but I've never had one or signed one.
And you could read them
Mhm.
before you wrote whatever you wrote in it
Yeah.
and pass it off to somebody
Like
else.
a graffiti book, really.
Yeah.
It really was.
Yeah.
And a lot of times those were the ones where you would write something in it and then pick a random locker and chuck it in and close the door and walk the fuck away from it. You didn't even know who got it.
Mhm.
And it just got passed around everywhere.
Most of the cool kids did shit like that, because us kids, the stoners, man, if you throw that shit in my locker, you might not get it back. You might throw it in a bonfire. You never know.
Well, that's what
Some of them had some pretty harsh things to say, but I mean, oh yeah, those were outlawed by schools really quick. But again, that's the boredom innovation. Somebody figured out, I'm tired of this motherfucker. I want to do something to stir up trouble. And man, that started conversations, and we had slam books going around. And of course, if your teacher caught it, you had to figure out some new way to sneak it so that your teacher didn't see the book going from one end to the other. I remember that thing getting flung across class like a frisbee when the teacher wasn't paying attention. Just whoever picked it up is who got it. Because the one that had it in their possession when the teacher caught it, they were the one getting in trouble. Didn't
Yeah.
matter who else was in the book.
Yep. They could sign
Oh,
their
yeah.
fucking names. Like, wait a minute, they signed their name. They should be in trouble. Yeah. No, I've never gotten in trouble or been involved with one of those.
Yeah.
They did have on the classroom wall, though, they would put paper, and you can go up there and graffiti on it and put whatever you want on it, as long as it wasn't,
Offensive. Or,
right,
anything like that.
derogatory shit. But you can go up there and graffiti on the wall, on the paper, instead of, on your fucking desk or whatever.
Yeah. But we did that with shit. I ended up doing that all over my freaking notebooks and shit.
Uh-huh.
Trapper
See, I
keepers
feel-
and stuff like that.
I now feel privileged to know that I grew up in an area where we had slam books, because I've talked to people, and some people know what they are, and other people are like,
Yeah.
what are you talking about? That would have been the coolest idea. I would have loved that
It
in my
was
school.
at the beginning, but, when you can put anything you want.
Oh, yeah. No, it got out of hand fast.
Yeah, it just it was basically Facebook
MySpace.
without
It really, I mean,
yeah.
I remember some girl was some of the kids were saying, well, this girl's pregnant. We were in 6th grade. No, she's not.
Better not be.
But of course,
Yeah.
that was the shit that was going in those type of books, and it would really hurt. It messed some kids up pretty
Right.
bad. I don't know that we necessarily had a lot of feelings to hurt, because we were all just kind of out tearing shit up
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never had a trapper. I mean, I've seen people with trapper folders, but I had a peachy folder. That was it.
Yeah.
I had a
Yeah.
trapper keeper.
We drew everything, anything kind of idea. And we came from the time we had, we had to have book covers.
I used to make those out of fucking
Oh, yeah,
paper
yeah.
bags.
Paper bag,
The
yeah.
paper bag, yep.
You got the
that's
paper
right.
bag, and then you
used
could
to
draw all your
remember.
shit over
Yep.
it.
Oh,
exactly,
yeah.
yeah.
They didn't like that either because, we put I always had a Motley Crue fucking pentagram
Yeah.
on there, some wild
Well,
devil shit.
and the
Yeah.
Diamond S, and
Mm.
Lightning
Yeah,
S.
that Diamond S has been around forever.
Lightning S.
yeah, that's going to be a hieroglyph at some point.
I guess
They're going to
man.
be like, so we don't know the origin of the Diamond S, but it's been around as long as anyone. It was old when I was going to school.
Yeah.
Mhm. Well, the kids that I hung out with, they actually adopted it. You know, saying it was for stoners and shit. You know?
Kilroy was here with
Kilroy
just
was
the
here.
eyes and the fingers
And the
and
wall, over the wall was the
Yeah.
nose, yeah.
Twisted Sister. I'm one.
Yeah.
And, yeah, we used to have a ton of those. And I remember kids decorating their books. Of course, the girls would they would do their books in the paper bag wrap, and then they would draw flowers and
Yeah.
stuff on it.
Flowers and everything. And there
Guys-
were guys' names. And, oh my God, he's so cute.
Or so-and-so plus so-and-so
Yeah,
equals true
yeah.
love, whatever.
My name would never made it into any of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Fuck that.
This guy's so cute. Yeah, well, it's not going to be my name. I know
Yeah,
better than
we're
that.
not, we're not doing that. Shit, dude, we've gotten so
The
far
whole-
off topic.
Oh yeah, no, we're off in
We're
left
making
field
our own
again. But
shit now.
Again, we're left field. Oh, you're
Now-
talking about when you get bored and you like, made the whole, for the broomstick. You said broomstick. Automatically came up with. We used to make. We got so bored. We came up with broomstick nunchucks.
Oh yeah, no, we made those too,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think everybody
Take a
got
little
beat
piece
up
of
by
cheese.
those. Yeah.
and then
Fuck
proceed
yeah.
to beat the shit out of yourself. Nobody else.
Actually, I had a guy.
I know how to use nunchucks. Whap, 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 whap. I got a headache.
Yeah.
Yep. We used to make these origami poppers, man. I forgot how you could. You take a piece of paper and fold it a certain way, and
Yeah.
you got this little hole in the top. You blow it up, it inflates.
Oh no, see
and
that
you
was
pop it.
that was a paper towel that you got from the bathroom, and you soaked it with water, and you
Yeah.
folded it over, and you just drilled a hole in top, and then you could blow it up. And then when you slapped it, it sounded
Yeah.
like a bomb went off.
Something like that. Well, that and a milk carton. You can do that with
Oh,
a milk carton
yeah,
too,
yeah.
because they only have the little ones. Yeah, you just pop those too. Those fuckers were
See,
loud.
in third grade at Cabot Elementary,
Mhm.
the third graders and up, because it was fourth, fifth, and sixth grade, figured out that if you snuck in there at 9 o'clock, which was recess time, and made a couple of those and hid out in the stall, 9 o'clock was when our recess was. 9:15 was for the younger classmen, second, and lower. You could make a kindergartner piss himself if all of you hit that
Yeah,
thing
you
at the
could.
same time.
Some teachers would be so pissed.
Oh
when they
yeah,
do
no, they would get
that. What the?
they'd get lit up, but man, they'd hear this bam in the bathroom, and some kid just come out crying with his pants all soaked, and we're all dying. It was a dickhead thing to do, but that was kind of the generation we were at.
Yeah, there was no safe space.
No, it was definitely that leads into this one. This next question, Gen X humor was brutal.
Oh yeah.
Very much so.
Oh, yeah.
You just don't give a fuck.
Poppers in the bathroom for kindergartners. That starts it out pretty solidly right there.
We used to have these little battles where you could bag on each other, just start, what they call it. I forgot what they called it exactly back then, but you could just sit there and
Oh, like
insult at
like
each
a
other.
rip fest or something.
Yeah, you just sit there and just, mama jokes and baby jokes and all that stuff, and just tear into each other.
Yeah, that was your mama jokes was kind of our. But if you think about it, it was right during that generation when Richard Pryor and
Sam Kinison,
Eddie Murphy
Yeah,
and,
Eddie Murphy.
and Sam Kinison. That was when
George Carlin.
when profanity. Because prior to that, George Carlin got arrested for it many times, and Lenny Bruce got arrested several times for it. If you had profanity in your comedy show, you could get arrested. And then it was right about 84, 85. Eddie Murphy came out with his special, which was immediately followed by a Richard Pryor special, and both of them were just cussing up a blue streak the whole time. And then
If you've watched that,
Andrew Dice Clay
Andrew Dice Clay,
and Sam Kinison came out shortly after, and it was the same thing, just cussing the whole time. So yeah, we were kind of brutal with our comedy.
Then they wonder why the world is so fucked up the way it is now.
Yeah.
We have desensitized
Yeah.
ourselves to so much.
Oh yeah, we saw it on that. Everybody was saying, "Well, you can't say that on TV," and we would listen to radio stations for when they would, after about 9 o'clock at night, they played the unedited versions of the songs,
Yeah.
and,
You hear that one word.
and you could hear the one cuss word in the song that was hidden in
they
there.
said it.
Or you get the,
And then shortly thereafter, it's like now they're cussing up a blue streak in songs on regular radio. It's
Yeah,
not
on
edited
Sunday
at all.
morning.
I know, yeah.
Like it doesn't matter.
It's like Casey's fucking top 40 now.
Yeah, bitches. Yeah, they don't care.
Casey
I remember
Kasem.
Casey. Man, I like listening to that
Yeah.
show, except for some songs I didn't like. I'd have to
Some of
sit
them,
through it.
yeah, a lot of them I'm like, ooh, I like this one, I like this one. That one, yeah.
But that
Well,
was the
they were
thing.
all radio hits, though. It
Yeah.
wasn't bad.
But that was the thing is you could light your friends up. You could light the people. Well, I mean, you obviously you lit the people up that you didn't like, but you also lit up your own friends. Nobody got hurt by that.
Oh, no.
There was some fights over some shit, what was said, but not to the extent
I mean,
like today.
if you were a straight up dickhead,
Mhm.
you can expect you're going to get into a fight. But you knew you were going to say something that was going to get you into a fight when you said it.
Well, most people that even attended, these fucking little things, they already knew that's what it was
Yeah,
about.
I'm going
You're
in.
going to get roasted.
I'm going in. I'm going to light this bitch up.
Yeah, and
And
you knew
what
that-
happens is what happens.
Right, they weren't butthurt right off the first word. Oh,
Oh my God, you
said
offended
that-
me.
Yeah, you offended me.
Yeah, and I'll slap the
Motherfucker,
fucking
yeah.
offense right off you.
Yeah, they knew it was coming.
But again, I think that's where the thing is in today, you offend somebody and it's immediate apology.
Mhm.
Back in the day, if you knew you were going to say something that was going to offend somebody, you knew there was a good chance they were going to swing.
Yeah.
And everybody else knew, oh, dude, he just called his girl a cunt. He's going to get fucking rocked.
Yeah, let's watch.
Ooh.
I mean, look at the
whole-
TV
whole
shows that we
crowd.
were watching. We were watching All in the Family and
Archie Bunker.
Red Fox and stuff. I mean, they got along. It
Sanford.
227, I think, was the first point on a TV show.
that black show.
Yeah.
The girl
When-
with the big titties. I
But
forgot her name.
they used to fucking light each other. They were constantly bagging on each other on
Yeah.
that show. And I think that's kind of when it became kind of normalized is we had just told them, like, they can do it. Why can't we? Adults are doing it.
Let's
'Cause-
just think of it was comedy, though. Even though it's offensive, if you want to look at it that way, it's still funny.
oh, yeah,
Come on,
no.
look at-
It's still funny.
What was it? You got MASH.
This
Yeah.
whole conversation we had about Chicago the whole week, there's zero chance I could ever put any of that in
No.
conversation on this. But it was still funny as hell.
No, that's something that stays over the CB radio for truck drivers.
It really does. Some of those things need to stay where they're stayed. I don't know if I want to bring into the music because we're a music-based podcast, but
Yeah,
it's
we've
so
done
random
music.
that it doesn't make any difference whether we did it back then or whether we did it now.
Pretty much.
The Nobody Could Find You, we already went over. Who would get arrested today? I remember having bets over which one of our friends would get arrested. I don't know if because you had nicer friends.
Yeah, I had better friends. Had ones that would try to keep me out of trouble.
Those are good friends. Like I said, that is a flex.
Those are good friends. I definitely had friends where it was like, so Marty was out late. Think the cops are going to be at his house today?
I have friends that'll help me bury a body, and then I got friends that'll, give
Probably
up
the
my
reason
name.
you have a body to bury.
Yeah.
Pretty much, So mine can turn on you in a heartbeat. Not a flex.
I can come
No,
up with so
I-
many stories from Rachel about shit that we got into and we almost got into trouble for, but I saved her ass and yeah.
I'm sure with some of the examples it brings up, like riding in the back of a pickup truck. Anybody from our era has spent at least one trip in the back of a truck.
Oh, seriously.
Oh yeah, that's how I broke my back.
Riding bikes without helmets.
Yep.
Yeah.
I didn't wear a helmet until they made it a law, and I think it still took me another 2 years before I ever even, and I got one because I'm like, oh, everybody's supposed to have a helmet. This thing sucks, and that was the only time I ever wore it.
Yeah.
The only time I ever wanted a helmet is when I'm actively in the moment crashing. Damn, I wish I had a helmet.
Yeah. That's about it for you.
Yeah, but after that,
No,
it's like, damn, fuck that. I don't look cool.
Oh,
with a
me and my
helmet.
friends, like I said, we'd get on our bikes and we'd go make ramps, we'd find hills, we'd jump, we'd go down, we found big hills and ride our bikes down where we cracked into a fucking stump or something. We got up, we shook it off, we kept going.
Yeah, you fucked yourself up quite a bit.
Here's a good example that I think all three of us can have access to. Playing with fireworks.
Yeah.
Now, you were in California. I'm pretty sure California was the same as Arizona. They were outlawed, weren't they?
Yes, they're illegal.
They were illegal. Now, you're from Michigan. They were legal there.
Yeah, but we never got the big ones. The
But
only-
you got fireworks, period.
we got fireworks. Yeah, we got fireworks.
We didn't.
We ended up having the sparkle. We had the
The sparklers do not count as fireworks.
No.
Well, we had
no.
we had those worms,
Anything
the
that goes boom.
snakes.
We had shit that would blow your fingers off.
Yeah, we didn't. I didn't have those.
And we-
Like the shit that we had from Clarksville. That's the fucking good shit.
Yeah.
We had some good ones. I mean, we
Yeah.
didn't
Shit
have.
that comes over from Mexico, they got some pretty good.
But
ones,
if
man.
you remember, that's the stuff from Clarksville. We were stopping into Mexico and picking up
Yeah.
fireworks all the time, and then bringing them back to
Oh
Tennessee.
yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say the stuff you get in Clarksville,
Mexico?
as far as
Yeah.
Yeah, well, no,
firework
we-
quality is not your top of the line.
We were bringing back some really, really interesting
Potent
fireworks.
shit.
But even then, growing up, there were a couple of years that I remember we had fireworks, and we would have to go out to the desert, and of course, we're lighting them and throwing them at each other.
Mm-hmm.
Brilliant move.
I still think it's fun.
Let's not
so
blow
much now.
myself up. He's my best friend. Let's blow him up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I had a friend of mine who had a black cat firecracker. He lit it. He went like this, and the minute he got here, it went boom, and he couldn't hear nothing for about a week.
Yeah, you could really fuck
And then
yourself up, man.
There were other kids who got. I never got bottle rockets. My parents never let me get bottle rockets or
No.
something like that. So, but the kids down the street, we would watch them shoot them down the street, making war, shooting at each other. stuff
See,
like that.
I'm actively talking about taking M80s and lighting them and throwing them at my best friend's feet to see if he would move out of the way. You're talking about, oh, he blew up his hand by accident. No, we were trying to blow each other
We
up.
weren't trying to blow over. No. We were just blowing
We-
other shit up.
We like blowing shit up, like we probably blow up some Hot Wheels or blow up a fucking
G.I. Joe or
toilet.
toilet.
I'll
Strap
blow
a
it up
G.I.
toilet, blow up a shitter.
No, strap a G.I. Joe to a bottle rocket.
No, but you can light an M80, drop it in a toilet, flush it because the fuse is still waterproof, and just see how many toilets pop off the floor.
Oh yeah.
No, we never did that. We never.
We had a couple-
We never had the M80s. I never knew exactly where to find them. So.
Well,
Mexico.
Probably a good thing.
Well, I'm in Michigan. This is really far away from Mexico.
Yeah, and last time I heard, Canadians don't have very good fireworks.
Yeah, no.
And again, this is probably my dad was not a benefit. My dad and my uncle went down and got fireworks from Mexico for Tucson, and in their brilliance, decided to take, I don't know, 20, 25 M80s apart and put all the contents in a coffee can and then put a fuse in.
That's like a quarter stick of dynamite.
No, it was well more than a quarter. They put it under the nose of a tow-along fifth wheel and blew that sumbitch upside down.
Ouch. Ouch. That's a lot.
Yeah, they were hoping that the fifth wheel was going to hold it down. No, it blew that trailer clean. Just plump.
Okay.
So, but that's kind of where we're at. With when you think about Gen X, it wasn't just what everybody says. We got in so much trouble, but we had access to it.
Yeah, that's before now, with all the stuff that hindsight 2020 kind of thing. Who would have ever figured that blowing shit up with an M80 could lead to serious consequences back then.
Oh yeah, we didn't think about it. No, it wasn't even a thought. And
Just like with smoking, you could smoke at a fucking grocery store. You could smoke at a hospital.
so as much as I would like to,
today.
as much as I would like to brag on,
in a car with an ashtray right there.
John's not kidding. You used to be able to smoke in the friggin' hospital.
Oh yeah, McDonald's. You smoke at McDonald's.
You used to be able to
crazy.
any of the restaurants. Nobody cares. Nobody from our generation. We grew up
Nobody gave a
with
fuck.
we grew up with we grew up the way we grew up because there just wasn't a lot of concern. The kids who had good solid homes to go home to, their parents were still busy. They were worn out from work. They had too much going on, or there were other siblings they had to deal with. So you still had a lot of time to yourself, or you were out hanging out with your friends, and that's where peer pressure came into it because you had your friends. There were obviously kids that had mom and dad both at home, and one of them worked, and they had time, and they had a good home life. But how do you hang out with your friends when all the rest of your friends are like, both my parents are gone, I got nobody else to do. I'm going to go out and do this. And then you go out and hang out with them. So whether you had somebody at home or not, you're still out with them.
Oh yeah.
You're being subjected to it.
There's always that one friend
Fuck
that your
the
mom
friend.
tells you, that's not your friend. You don't need to be hanging around them.
Oh yeah.
Fuck you, Mom. 20 years later, yeah, you were right.
Fuck you, Mom, for being right.
Yeah, pretty much.
So that's where we're at. What are your? I don't want to hear we grew up with garden hose water and we grew up eating whatever we had to, and we were able to play from the time that we left from the morning until the sun came down. What are your actual horror stories of shit that? Remember, statute of limitations is out. Shy of murder. Anybody reports murder, I'm going to have to report you. Anything shy of that, most of the statute of limitations has expired in the 30 years since we've all graduated high school. What are your horror stories? What have you been through? And what don't you believe? If you're one of the younger people watching this, what don't you believe from those times? Because I can clearly remember doing shit that we probably shouldn't have done and is completely illegal now. Might have been legal at the time. Rolling a bowling ball down Speedway on Saturday night because we thought it was funny that we stole one from the bowling alley wasn't illegal at the time. You cannot do that now.
And we'll know too if they know what they're talking about when they start telling the story. Be like bullshit.
Yeah, no.
From that era.
If you're from that era, you're going to be able to know pretty quick. And
Yeah.
if you
that
think
hard.
that those stories are bullshit, put what you think is bullshit out there, and other people you comment and just, hey, explain to us whether or not you think it's real. If we see it, I'm going to reply to it too. I'm trying to stay up on top of these replies. With that being said, I think we ran a little long. We got way off topic more often than we stayed on it.
Just
It's what we do.
yep.
We only have a suggestion of a topic when we start these things, and then
Yes.
that goes away almost immediately.
Yes.
So with that being said, we appreciate
Squirrel.
it. Like, follow, and subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next round.
Later, guys.
Later.